Hi everyone, welcome to the AllBrands show. I'm Barbara from AllBrands.com, a family-owned and operated business since 1976. We're so excited to be talking about the Luminaire XP2 sewing, embroidery, and quilting machine today with Barb Mikolajczyk, Brother National Educator. So you know the drill, everyone. Please let us know where you're watching from. What are you working on? And I hope that this presentation is super informative to you. Please ask questions. We're live. We will be corresponding with you throughout the event. And also, anytime you watch an AllBrands show, you are eligible to win a $100 AllBrands.com e-gift card. So how do you win that? Just like, comment, and share or subscribe, and we will pick a random winner at the end of this presentation. Also, we are so super excited to be in the Houston International Quilt Festival this year, and that is just in like 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. How do you register? Go to quilts.com. We'll be in booth 942 representing Brother. Barb's going to be there. Angela's going to be there. We have just so many great folks. Wendy Chow, who's the weekend quilter. So she'll be making her debut with us there. So steady. Tons and tons of great folks. Laura Starr, Durkee. It's just going to be so much fun. We're going to have tons of giveaways as well. And we have one that you can already start to get into our contest. So we have a mask contest, mask decorating contest. And that is, you just go to allbrands.com/mask. And the link is in the description of this video. We are going to be giving away a Brother SE 1900 sewing machine and tons of goodies with that. So yeah, and then Callie will be here streaming live from our virtual demo stage throughout is it 5 days of the show? Thank you, Callie. Great job. But we're really excited for that, and I'm so excited to see you. And let's just bring in Barb Mikolajczyk, Brother National Educator. Hi, Barb.
Hi, everybody. Hi. So glad to be here, and I can't wait to be in Houston and see you live. Can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
Yes, and you're going to be doing tons of demonstrations on the Luminaire virtually and in person at the show. I'm so excited.
Yes, can't wait. It's been way too long, and we missed it last year.
I know. Well, yeah. I am so excited. I gotta say, I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life today because things are coming along. We have amazing deals on these machines. I've been working all year with Brother to get all the freebies to give to you at the show if you decide to purchase one of these machines. 60 months financing, 14 extras with the Brother Luminaire. It's going to be fantastic. Let's just say hey to a few folks that are watching. Kimberly from Oklahoma. Welcome, Kimberly. And Debbie, thank you for sharing. Sandy Sterling says, hi, Barbara. Which Barbara?
Yeah, right?
Barb and Barb. Oh, my gosh. Hi, Sandra. Good to see you again. And so great to see familiar faces and new faces as well. Oh my gosh, and Carol's driving in her car. How wonderful. All right, well, Barb, we have tons and tons of stuff to cover today, so I'll let you get to it, but yeah.
Okay. I'm going to start with just covering some basics on the XP2. I think many of you have this machine that are watching if we're going to do that project at the end of the period, but maybe there's some things I'm going to show you that you've forgotten about or that you've never used and didn't really remember how to use. So let me switch my camera real quick here, and we're going to show the machine directly. And here we go. USB. Okay. All right, camera. Why are you not working? Because we're live, right? I don't know if anybody's on the other end that can help me here.
Hey,
Why?
Barb.
Yeah, where did I go?
Are you still with us?
I am trying.
Oh
It's
my
not
goodness.
coming. I checked it a second ago and it was there. So I'm trying to get into my USB video camera. And it's not coming up. Why isn't it coming up?
Everyone, let us know in the comments, do you have a Luminaire or a Dream Machine or a Stellaire or any machine with My Design Center? It's just a great machine to have. And let us know in the comments. I personally own a Luminaire 1 that has both the 1 and 2 upgrades on it. And I absolutely love it so much.
That means your Luminaire 1 is a Luminaire 2, basically.
Yeah, basically. It says 1 on it, but it's been upgraded to 2. And I love that Brother offers those upgrades. And at the show, we're going to be offering 10% off of any Brother accessory, and that includes playbooks, that includes upgrades, that includes software. So there's just going to be tons and tons of great specials there for you at the show. Oh, look, Robin has a Luminaire. Let's see here. Robin has the Luminaire, and Kathy has a Scan-A-Cut. That's great, Kathy. Oh, Barb, look, I see your machine in the background.
Well,
let's let her get her camera. Let there be light.
I just changed cameras, so we'll just go this way instead.
That sounds good. Yeah. And it's so funny. You know, the name of this machine is Luminaire, and we often forget it actually has a projector in the machine that will project your embroidery designs onto your fabric so that you can see it placed in color before you stitch it out. So yes, let there be light with this machine. So beautiful. Yep. So how you feeling, Barb? You ready to go?
Ready to go. Let's do this.
Fantastic.
Let me get this other camera out of my way. All right. So first we're going to start with how much space there is to stitch with on this machine. So you have 65 square inches. It's huge. 13.1 inches from the needle all the way over to the arm here, the head of the machine, and lots and lots of light. I do not have any studio lights on at all. This is just what it is in the machine. And you can see your accessory box, which is amazing, fits right in there for storage. But to open the box up, you have 3 trays of feet, and they are designed to be lifted out and put in the lid on this side. So we can put them all over here, and then we have all this extra storage space for our Move It foot, which I have on the machine right now, for our extra needle plates, and our huge, fabulous buttonhole maker, which will do buttonholes perfectly on even chiffon. It's absolutely amazing. So I love that I can open this up, put it in my drawer, and everything's at my fingertips whenever I need it. And the other thing I want to show real quick is the 2-spool thread holder that comes with the machine. And you just press these 2 wings in and lift it up, and that opens it up. Then all you have to do is telescope out the actual thread holder arm up here and just bring it around and lift up your pins. And now you can put 2 king spools of thread on the top of your machine, and this fits in your lid. So you just open up your lid, and these magnets designed on here, snap it on, and then you have all that extra space on your lid to actually store the things you want at your fingertips. I have my 10 spool thread holder on right now because I've just been doing some embroidery and I really wanted to have all my spools at my fingertips. So that's what's on right now. Then you can just close this off and store it away if you want to. So those are 2 things that come with it. One of the things I really want to talk about is the bobbin winder up here, which you can wind bobbins. We've always been able to do it at different speeds. So if I want to wind monofilament, that's easy to do. I just slow it down. And I can do it right here to slow it down. But I can now wind bobbins to different fullnesses. So I can wind it all the way, which I can bring it all the way down to a 1 and a 5 different levels to fill it. So that's not that big of a deal because you can always flip this over and stop it or say okay whenever you want to. But I am like many of you in multitasking, and I walk away when I'm putting that on there. So I want to make sure that it stops when I want it to stop. So I find that a really great thing. Your screen is capacitive touch. Don't tell me to do that. And it's smarter than we are. It's going to tell you everything you ever needed to know. But I'm going to go into sewing first, and you can scroll as much as you want to.
Hey, Barb.
Barbara, yeah.
I was wondering if you could show, maybe, I love the feature where you can turn down the light on the sewing machine because I think the white balance is making it so we can't see the screen fully. So if you turn down that runway lighting on the machine, we may be able to see the screen a little bit better.
Nope, let me turn the screen light off. Oh, I know what I can do. Hang on, I'm gonna turn my overhead.
There's so many cool features of this machine. Like if you wanna change the lighting on the bed of the machine. Okay, now it's just really white.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we need more light. We need more light in the background is what we need. So more light in the room to see the screen.
See, we tested out the other camera and we had it set just fine, but this one's
and maybe back the camera up just a little bit, and I'll come in on the screen so that people don't get seasick while you're doing that. And we'll get it so that everyone can see the beautiful screen on this machine. All right, let's see where we're at now.
I just wonder if I turn the screen brightness down. Let's see.
Oh, perfect. We can see it now. Does that camera have zoom where you can zoom in on the screen just a little bit for us?
Yep. This one does. This camera doesn't have a zoom, but I can move the camera closer.
All right, let's see. Guys, I forgot my glasses today, so if I squint, that's why. I'm just trying to see. I like how this screen is so big and has so much on it. All right.
Okay. Sorry about this, guys. We really did have a different camera all set up, and it decided not to work. How's that, Barbara?
The sewing machines never have technical difficulties. It's always which is so funny. All right. Just let me know when you're ready, Barb.
Does that look good?
That's much better. Thank you.
Okay. So capacitive screen, where you can scroll to get to whatever you want to. And you have all of these stitches in here for sewing. And you have 824 stitches. So some of them are in these utility categories that you can just scroll to go to. You may not know that the machine sews sideways and on an angle and backwards. You also have quilting stitches built in that are preset for quilters where they like their stitch lengths to go. And you have specialty stitches here under the S. So this is for your couching. This is for your basting, and it's a free motion basting stitch. And these are hand looking stitches where it literally looks like you have stitched it by hand. You do that by putting a different weight thread in the top versus the bottom. Then you can go to your character and decorative stitches, which is right over here. And now you noticed it's a different color on the screen. So our utility stitches are blue and our character and decorative stitches are more of a golden yellow. And again, you can slide through all of these categories to see what you want to. So I'm going to go all the way over here. We have fonts for sewing. We have Disney stitches. And we have, like I said, all these categories to go to. My favorite one is under this butterfly. And here's why. It starts out with all these I love yous in all these languages, but if I scroll to the end, I can see dinosaurs and bees and hedgehogs and snails, and they're so cute. And when you stitch them out, they're really wide. It's much wider than we're used to. So here's a couple of pictures of them. So these are ducks and hedgehogs. This is going to be the center of a block. So it's facing multi-directional. And then this one is the airplanes, trucks, planes, boats, trains, all that stuff. So that's what they are. And if I go ahead and put a couple in here, here's a dinosaur. And if I use this plus key, I can add another one and just go one at a time. So let's add a duck, and then let's add a hedgehog and maybe a snail. And look at, I can have the cutest lineups. And this is how big they stitch. I didn't change anything. So they're really fun to do. You'll notice that the snail right now is a different color blue than the other pieces in here. That means that's what I get to work with. I can change its size or length or width. And so I'm sneaking this snail down here to he's now skinny, but it moved everything. Maybe I would do that because I only have a certain length to fit this piece into. And so I can do that and see just how far I have to go. If I want to change all of them at the same time, I just use this icon right here that has 3 boxes connected, and that's going to connect all of them. And then I can do all at one time, however I wish to. So there's a lot of ability to be creative here with all of these different things. So now I want to take you back to something that is, I'm going to turn the machine lights back on. Tell me, Barbara, if this is a problem. Screen. Yeah, I turned the screen off, and that's when we did well. So is that still good on the screen?
Isn't there like a multi-level? We can still see the screen. It's just very white underneath the needle.
Okay. Yes, it is. That's how bright these
like a 5 levels, so it's like a dimmer switch on there. Which
how about a 3?
That's perfect. I think that's great.
Okay. Because I want to show you now this needle plate, which is absolutely amazing. So there's a needle plate for the 7mm wide stitches. Of course, they'll go wider because our machine will sew side to side. But there's a needle plate for a single, like just in the center. And to change that was a bunch of screws, which is a pain in the neck. But you have this gray slide bar right here. If you pull that towards you, your needle plate pops up. And all you have to do is lift it out. And you know what? Why did I put this move it foot on here to do that with? All right, it slides right out. Now, even if you don't want to change it to a single hole, sometimes we do want to do that, then you want to get in here to clean. That's how easy it is, and you're done. And you think, well, if I put the single plate on, then what happens if I pick the wrong stitch? I'm going to break my needle and mess everything up. No, you won't, because it's so smart. It won't let you pick any stitch except what goes in the middle. Or if you pick a left justified left position, it will only let it go in the middle. So it's so smart. And it tells you exactly how to handle all of those details. So let's just show you how easy it is to slip it back on. Let's put it in place and pop it down. Done. Ready to go. So that's another really special feature that the machine has. We also have a wonderful stylus that is soft on one end, so you can use it on your screen to do your work on your screen, but you can also use the other end, which we're going to do in a minute to show you how to adjust stitches while the projector is showing them to you on your bed of your machine. So let's go there. Okay. So the projector does a lot of things. I'm going to go back for the moment to just in the utility stitch, and we're good there. And I want to show you some guidelines. When everybody told me about this, the first thing I said was, I don't need a line to sew straight. I've sewn straight forever. However, I have learned how much easier it is when I have a guideline. It truly is a real blessing. So to see this, and again, I had used my other camera, and I'm going to try to get this camera to work. I know it's not as good focusing. So can you see my guidelines? I can't see them. Can you?
I see the foot, but not the guidelines.
Yeah.
I wonder if you change, because in the guidelines you have different projection options too, right? So like
I do.
on dark fabric, light fabric.
Right. I can change the colors of the guidelines, but I don't know that that's going to help me here because there's 2 green ones now. See, this camera's just not as good as my other camera.
Can you turn off the overhead light?
Yep.
There's so many cool features. All right. While she's moving the camera around, I'll just hop back in. And guys, there's such great comments in the going on right now about everyone who has the Luminaire and loves it. Let's see how it looks now. Oh yeah, we're getting the rainbow effect now. But yeah, so that's the projected line that you're seeing, the rainbow.
This camera's just not going to pick it up for me. That is so sad because then I can't show you any of the projection.
You can't turn off the runway lighting on the machine?
No, I can't because then the projector light won't be on.
Got it. Okay.
Does that make sense? I can't. Hang on. Hang on. I thought I'd done that before for...
Barb is the best at sewing machines. So glad I popped up, Pam said. Oh, thank you, Pam.
Okay, so I tried it. Let's see what it does. It's still not going to pick it up.
Okay, so let's just explain what... Oh, I see it. I saw it for a second.
Well, I'm not sure what you saw.
I saw a line down the center of the foot.
It's projecting light onto my fabric.
There it is.
See,
we see it now. We see it right now. That's a projected line from the machine, and the camera is picking up that wave, but it's not happening in real life on Barbara's end. But what does that line help people do, Barbara?
Oh, the line helps you do so many things. For one thing, you can adjust the 2 separate lines to different positions. I have it set right now to 1/4 inch. So if I would put my edge of my fabric on my green line, my needle will stitch on the red line exactly 1/4 inch away from that edge every time. So I have a visual guide to actually be able to do this easily and perfectly. So I wish I could show you. It also projects stitches on here. I'm going to just try this for a second. We are really having challenges here, aren't we?
Sally says, I love my projector when I quilt. Yes.
Yeah, right? Because it makes your job so much easier. All right, so I'm going to try one more time here. See if I can get something projected. Now, why did that just go away? Didn't even touch it. I'm here. Okay. No, it's just turning off on me. What is going on? Well, what I'm trying to project is the dinosaurs and the rabbits and all that fun stuff. And I don't know, because I have my lights off, if it's not happy with me. Yeah, it's just turning off. I can't get it to...
It's spooky for Halloween. Hey, Carrie asked a good question. Do you happen to know what's the widest seam allowance that it will project?
30 millimeters, which is well over an inch. So you can do your 5/8, you can do your 1/2 inch, all of those. I need to turn some lights back on here because I can't see what I'm doing. All right, here we go. At least I have some light. So much for the showing you. But what I wanted to show you was you can project onto your fabric. Say I wanted to put a stitch in a stripe. So I have some stripes here. And I can project that onto my fabric, and I can adjust that stitch till it fits exactly the way I want it to in my stripe. So if I want to do a row of dinosaurs, I can, and I can size them to fit exactly where I want them, which is awesome. It also will project angles. So you can see there's an angle. Do 60 degrees, 90 degrees, and 40 degrees, I think it is. And when I do that, I can take those points. I'm not a quilter. I've become a quilter. that's not how I started. I can take those points and line them up together. Here's my degree. Go to my angle here so you can see. Wow, this camera is hard to work with. So I just turned on my angles and I've got 45, 60, and 90. And this is cut at a 45. So it's going to project onto the bed of my machine a 45-degree angle. And all I have to do is line up the edges of this to exactly the outside line, and my needle will drop perfectly at a 1/4 inch at the point and stitch my 1/4 inch. I mean, I have to guide it, but here are the results. I mean, these don't get any better. These points do not get any more perfect. And it's because, show you the right side, it's because it drops it a 1/4 inch exactly in. And then when you get done, all those points are perfectly matched. So for a non-quilter to be able to do that says a lot. And for quilters to be able to do that with ease, that says a lot also. Okay. So I also, since I can't, I wanted to tell you all of those cute decorative stitches. They no longer are limited to just large and small. They're fully adjustable, all of them. And they've sped up the speed to 710 stitches a minute. It used to be 5 something. So now we can do all those cool side-to-side decorative stitches a little bit faster. So then we can also audition stitches, which is what I was going to show you on here, but the camera is just not going to pick it up, where I can pick a stitch and project it on my machine. And like lining up the dinosaurs in my stripe, I can look to see if the stitch I've chosen is my favorite. And if it's not, I can change it to look at other stitches all at the same time. And then I choose the one I want and off I go. Even while it's projecting, I can adjust its length and its width and get it exactly where I want it to be. So those are all really helpful things when you're creative and you like to see, where most of us are visual and we like to see what we're doing. So I'm going to do a little bit now with this move it foot. So the move it foot is, well, it's the bomb, okay? It's pretty big when you put it on your machine. Looks like I need to turn these lights down again. This camera is challenging. Let's see if that's better. That's better. So it's a little big to put on your machine. However, it does stuff so well. It's amazing. So I have a couple of pieces of striped fabric here, and I want to stitch them together for a seam and have them all match when I open them up. Because you know how hard that is. You put 2 things together, you think you've got it lined up, you put a jillion pins in it, and then you stitch it and open it up, and it's still moved on you. So I want you to watch. I'm not doing anything. All I did was line it up by hand. I'm going to stick it under my foot, and I'm going to go ahead and, I didn't have to do that, stitch. And all I'm doing, I'm not doing a thing. I'm just stitching it. And I can open it up and it'll be perfect as long as I lined it up perfectly. So there are my stripes perfectly lined up, just the way I want them, without fussing or mussing, because this move it foot never lets go of your fabric. It's belt driven and it never lets go. You can stitch your quilt sandwiches, you can stitch your binding on your quilts, and it never scooches and moves. It's amazing. So that's, you know, I don't know, worth $1 million to me, because I can stitch chiffon on velvet, it won't move on me at all. I can stitch just chiffon and not have it bunch. So velvet won't fight me when I stitch with it. So it's great. I'm changing to my embroidery foot here. And that's all I have to do to change the machine over from sewing to embroidery, is do that and then choose embroidery instead of sewing. So there we go. Embroidery foot's on. And let's go back to the screen and choose embroidery. So we go home and choose
Barb, we
embroidery.
got a question from Pamela Graham. Does the Move It Foot come with the upgrades? Well, the Move It Foot comes with the Luminaire. So
Yes.
if you have a Luminaire, then you'll get the Move It Foot with that.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Oh, and I didn't talk about that. So the move it foot, we're going to use it in our project if anybody's going to sew along with me. There are different feet to go on the move it foot. There is an open toe, there is a couching foot, there is a standard foot, there is a stitch in the ditch, and there is a 1/4 inch. So here are a couple of the feet. This is your standard foot, and it has those red markings on it, which are really helpful. And here's my couching foot, and I have my somewhere here because we're going to use it later. Here's a standard foot. It doesn't have any markings on it. And then your open toe, which I think I have on it. This is my favorite. I love this because I like to see better what I'm doing. And it has markings on it. So there's a 1/4 inch marking from a center needle position. And then on the inside is my 1/8 inch. If I just lined up my fabric there, then I can get a 1/4 inch and I can get an 1/8 inch, and it's, you know, nothing's slipping or moving on me or shifting, so I'm good to go. Okay, embroidery.
Hey,
So you saw,
Barb,
yeah.
we have one question from in the comments. What is how wide is the throat of this machine? Joe asks.
This one right here, 13.1. From the needle to the edge of the machine, 13.1 inches. Huge.
Fit a lot of quilt in there, that's for sure.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Okay, so going into embroidery real quick, there are 1,322 built-in designs. They're all under these categories here. You can scroll to see all the different categories, and then it'll bring up all the designs under those. There's also return 24 fonts and 7 monogram fonts, and we're going to use one of those in our project later. The hoops that come with this machine are 4x4, 5x7, 10 3/4 by 10 3/4, and 10 3/4 by 16. That's what comes with it. There are also other hoops that you can get, many, and if you've gotten some in the past, they will fit this machine and it will read them just fine. I will show you a couple later that are new to the lineup. First, I want to show you something that's really fun that's, I think, amazing. Whoops, that's not where I want to be. I want to be here. I'm going to choose our new font, and I'm going to choose a letter that has a center that if I want to do a fill around, I actually want to fill inside of that too. And so I get to do that. All I have to do is open up Edit, and this, it's a flower. It's the outline of a flower. So this is my outline icon or key where I can turn it on to do inside as well as outside. So I'm going to turn it on. Then the only thing I get to do is put it in memory. Like, well, what am I going to do with that? I'll show you. We'll put it in memory. It's going to tell me I put this in the design center under that key or icon. Okay. So I want to go there, and I'm going to, I can either get out of this altogether, or I can add by going to the design center right here. And remember, it said it was under that shapes or stamps icon. So I went under there, and it lied to me. It's not there. It is. It's just under the outline up here. So I go in there, and there's my cue. Bring it in, and all it's going to show me is the outline. It's not going to be the actual stitching of the cue because it knows I want to do something with it. Well, what I want to do is do a quilting pattern around it because this is going to be the middle of one of my blocks. And you can do this with any design. It doesn't have to be a letter. It can be whatever you want. So I'm going to add around it, but my block is, let's say, 8 by 8. So I'm going to put parameters in there so that I know this will only go 8 inches. So when I go to size, it tells me what size this comes in default. I need it 8 by 8, so I'm just going to make it go bigger. And I'm going to give you a secret here. I always cheat everything. I never go 8 by 8. I go 797 by 797, just a little bit less, because I am okay if it doesn't stitch exactly to the end point, but I'm not okay if it stitches over it. So that's how I do it. Everybody can do their own way. So now I have parameters where I'm going to fill, and I'm going to go to my region properties and open up my fill bucket. And I'm going to go in here to my choices. I can either satin stitch this or fill it, or I can stipple it, or I can choose 42 different backgrounds. So on this one, since I'm doing some fall things, I'm going to let it go to the default of these leaves, and I'm going to make them green and say, okay. And now my fill bucket is still on, so I'm just going to touch. I need you to fill inside this cube, but I also want you to fill inside. All I have to do is touch it to do that. This is something that's really fun. Like I said, any design doesn't have to be a letter, and you can fill inside areas. Before it was quite difficult to do that, but now we get to do it easily. So that's kind of cool, isn't it? But I can also, let's get out of this one. We'll go back to our regular embroidery, and I'm going to do a couple things around this queue again, but not in the design center. And I'm going to say, I want to do stippling around it. So there we go. It's instantly going to put stippling around it. Okay, that's a lot of stippling, and that's a lot of size. So I'm going to change my hoop size. It defaults to the big one. Let's come over here. It's not going to fit in a 4x4. It's not going to fit in a 4x7. Not going to fit in 4x12. It's going to fit in 5x7, but I want 6x6. Oh, it says it won't fit. Oh, 8x8 is what I was doing. Never mind. So I'm going to keep clicking until I find my 8x8 hoop. There it is. Now it's filled. Not inside. I don't have that choice here, but I do somewhere else if I want to do it. But I can also have it instantly echo. So this is instant stipple. Here's instant echo. How is this for you? No more do you have to do that echoing. So that's a lot of echoes. So I can change that by making the spacing bigger. And I usually like things around 400. And let's see how that looks. I made it 440, but yep, there we go. That's a nice little echo pattern. And then I can also go to those 42 fill backgrounds right here. And all I do is go to select, and they're back again. All of them are back. So let's just do some fun swirlies around it. I still have my 8x8 chosen, and I can change the size of this. So that's 100%. Let's see what it looks like at 200%. Pretty easy to do. And again, we're visual, so we look at it as we create. So there's your instant, and we're in the embroidery side. We're right here. We don't have to get out of anything. I did forget to tell you one thing. And I want to show you this because it's important, and a lot of people don't know how to go there. When you're in the design center, and I added that box in order to have parameters to fill, you don't want it to stitch, and it is going to stitch. It's going to do a satin stitch by default. So if I go here to change that stitch and tell it do not stitch, and okay, fill bucket, touch, listen, when it knocks at me, it will not stitch. I forgot to show you that because I had the cue, but that would have stitched that box. I mean, I probably could have skipped that thread color, but it's much easier if you just tell it not to stitch and you're good to go. Does that help anybody? I hope. Help somebody. Okay, we can also do changing of stitch order, which before we had to do this in embroidery. I mean, in software, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to bring in a little bee, and then I'm going to bring in a flower. So I'm going to add a flower to this bee, and then you're going to see what happens here. Now this one has a couple more bees in it and set, but guess what? The bee I brought in is underneath the flower. That's not going to work. So I open up edit, and this icon here, or key, tells me I can change my stitching order. So right now my stitching order is the flower first and the bee is last. Well, he's last. Trust me, he's last. Let's go back here. Here's my.
Hey, Barb. We had, Christy made a really good comment. I need to spend more time in my design center. And I agree. That is my favorite part of these machines. I agree with you, Christy, there. And one thing I think, Barb, if your mouth is too close to your camera, it's just a little garbly. So I think that may be the reason. So just, I guess if you're speaking, lean a little farther back from your camera. That hopefully we'll fix it. Otherwise, it's Wi-Fi, which we have no control over.
Yeah, but usually my speaker works really well. Okay, so
sounds good now.
It's going to stitch the.
Thanks.
Okay, stitch the bee first and the flower second. We don't want to do that. So we're going to go ahead and press one of these, and it's going to change the order. That's how easy it is. And you can move like 3 things up. So now when I go to stitch, the order is the flower first and then the bee second. And I can always move that bee. So I can go back and select the bee. And I think he's selected now. Again, it's hard without a light. There's my bee. And it can be leading the pack here or whatever I want to do with it. So that's how you change your stitching order right there. So what else could I show in my design center maybe that would be something you want to see? How about, I don't know, there's so many fun things. How about if I show you something I created in there? I'm just going to grab the sample. Here it is. So this was completely created in my design center. It's just a little bib, but we took shapes and we made it a pumpkin on this bib. So you want me to walk through that real quick? What do you think?
Sure. And Karen Carr has a special request for applique.
Okay, great. I will show that. So we took an egg and we changed the shape of the egg to make it look more like a pumpkin. So we made it fatter size. And let's see, fatter this way. It's, I don't remember my exact numbers now, but okay, you can tell how you can take a shape and do anything you want with it. Then we assigned a stitch to it. So that's, remember up here, so I'm going to go in there and I'm going to say, I want that to be one of the many stitches that are in here, just like the background fills. And I actually put this stitch on it. So I chose the stitch and I made it orange. Make sense? Come back in here and touch my fill bucket and touch the line. And it instantly changes to orange and that stitch is assigned to it. Okay? Then we added another shape. And I took this one and sized it way down because I made it the stem. So let's just 4 sides all in at one time. Makes it pretty fast. And then I can stretch it out a little bit, shrink it in. So I'm just eyeballing this. So I've got about the size I want, but I want to rotate it. So I'm going to say rotate and 90 degrees, and then just move it up to my pumpkin. So it's hard to see the pumpkin now, but if I magnify this and use my pan hand, I can see there's my pumpkin line right there. So there are ways to easily see that. So while we're there, I want to erase the pumpkin inside the stem. I don't want it there. So there's my eraser. I can make it anywhere from 0 to 100. But when you've magnified your screen, your eraser is also magnified. So I'm going to bring it down a bit so I don't erase too much. And I just use my finger. You can use your stylus, whatever you want. I erased something I didn't want to erase. Again. Okay. And it's erased. It's good. And you can make that even bigger to make it easier. Now we need to assign a stitch to the stem. So where do we go? Remember, we're up here. And this time I want it to satin stitch. So back here, do I make it go to the stem? Fill bucket, touch. It's now brown and it's now a satin stitch, which is what this is. So then we added some, I think we added the leaves next, which are in here, but there are different shapes that you can add. So there's all of these, and there's all of these, and there's all of these. I mean, there's lots of shapes. So my leaf was, where's my leaf? Right there. When I bring it in, the leaf is huge. It's a little too big for the pumpkin. So of course we're going to size, bring it down a whole bunch. Do. That's okay. And I think that's okay. So now I'm going to move the leaf to the right side of the stem.
Hey, Barb.
Yeah.
So it looks like Pamela made a good comment. We need a Lumi Club. We're getting a lot of questions, which I'll get to in a second. And I think someone solved the Halloween mystery of the sound. Like, it's fine, like, but I think when your hand is next to your mouth is maybe when the garbly sound is happening. So let's just see if you keep your hand down, if that will make it the sound work.
This is crazy.
Right now, the sound is perfect.
How weird is that? And I
put your hand next to your mouth. Let's see. And talk.
My hand's next to my mouth.
Yep, that's when it's garbly. Isn't that funny?
Oh, hey.
I think, oh my gosh, whoever suggested that, thank you so much. I think we've solved it.
Thank you.
All right, carry on, and I'll get to the questions. Don't worry, everyone.
So we want a second leaf. Let's do it the easy way. Here's your duplicate icon, just like you're used to. Boom, I now have a second leaf. And I'm going to mirror image it, and I will move it over, which I can move my button. Move buttons are both under size and under rotate. So I want this going just a little different direction than the first one. And see, that's how easy it is to move it into place. Let's just get an idea of what we're doing here. There's my two leaves. I'm going to move this one in a little bit more. There we go. And while we're here, I'm going to go ahead and erase in this leaf right here. So one thing we want to do is, actually I need to, is try to make sure not to touch all these things together, because then sometimes they want to take on the different stitch colors and types of something else it touches. So we like to not do that. But in this case, I'm going to make the leaves a different stitch. So here we go again. And this stitch is the chain stitch, and I want the leaves green. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to fill bucket, one leaf, second leaf. And guess what? My pumpkin turned green because I have it touching that leaf. So that's a good lesson for people to learn. So I need to go in there and fix that. I need to stop touching that leaf to the, and if you just break that line, you're never going to see it in your final project because they're all decorative stitches and stuff. You're just not going to see that. And yet it won't pick on the character now. So I'm going to go back in and go to my fill bucket and go to my pumpkin, which was it was this stitch there, and it was orange, and touch my pumpkin again. Ha! It all turned. So I got to get back in there and figure that out. But that's a good way to say, you know, don't touch your lines together because they like to take on the properties of whatever's touching them. Okay, then the last thing we did, which was kind of fun, is I took this pattern out of the shapes, and it was in the open shapes, and it's right here. And you're going to say, how did I make that look like that? Well, let's watch. So there it is. On the empty part of the page. And I am going to take the select icon, which is right here, and I'm going to draw to select what I want. So that's my drawing. I'm going to take off. I didn't do it. Let me do that again so you can see. I undo. See, you can undo and get it back. I took the select icon, I took the box, and I just captured part of this. And it snapped right around the part I captured. And I'm going to cut it away. It's gone. We're going to get it back, don't worry. Then I took the piece that was here.
Hey, Barb, can you repeat what you just said? It cut out just a little bit.
It did.
Yeah.
So when I cut away that portion that was over there, it went away, but it's on this clipboard. So it's kind of a copy paste situation. Does that make sense? So I cut it away and I can bring it back. So now I want to choose, hang on. I don't know why I can't get this one back to do my sizing with. All right, we'll work with this one. So now I can rotate this. Let's see. That's about right. And I did a little more. And then I just brought it up to where I wanted it to touch the big one, which I haven't gotten into shape yet. But I didn't want to touch it. Oh, I need to mirror image it too. Nope, I mirror imaged it the wrong way. I want to rotate. I wasn't planning to do this. Can you tell? All right, move it over. And you can touch, and do this. And then I just put it on the bottom of the stem. I need to see my bottom of my stem. Whoa. Oh, I still have pan hand on. You turn pan hand on and off, and there it goes, the bottom of my stem. Then I can say, oh, it didn't paste it. Oh, yes, it did. Get back down here to 100%. So see, there's my one curlicue. And then I don't know why it didn't let me, but here I'm back again, and I can choose the bigger size, bigger side. There we go. And I can close this out, and I can rotate this guy and take him up to the other side of it. And I still need to see bigger, so you just go ahead and magnify that sucker. And I can take that off and move it over here. And then I would obviously assign another stitch to it, because this was candle wicking stitches. So you remember how we did that? Let's go back to 100%. Go to our stitches. My candle wick, which is on the first page. Other green, I did here. Fill bucket. Shape, and see, I have them touching again. So I didn't take the time I should have, because everything turned green. But when they don't touch, they look like this, all different stitches and all different colors, and just designed in the design center. It's so simple, but you can also scan.
Be so creative. Yeah, so you can draw it on the screen. You can use shapes. You can scan. There's just endless possibilities in my design center.
Yeah.
It's such a creative canvas to work with. I have some questions.
Yes, me.
Go to that. Let's
Ready.
See. The first one is, oh goodness, where did it go? Excuse me. I thought I had it right in front of me.
was gonna say, I'm not the only one with gremlins, obviously.
Okay, Rita said, and I think this was for the last design. She said, if the bee and flower have the same colors, can you stitch all the same color at once, or do you have to change them for each design?
No, you can color sort. Absolutely, if they have the same colors. So let's go grab that. I mean, I won't necessarily grab that bee and whatever. I will grab 2 flowers. How's that? Set. Duplicate this flower. Boop, 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 boop. Where's my? Boop. So I now have 2 flowers, and I go to stitch. Then in here under layout, you have, this is your color sort. Tell it to color sort, and watch what it did. It's going to stitch all the same colors together at the same time, and then move on to another color.
That is amazing. What a time saver.
Yes.
My goodness.
Absolutely.
Okay,
and you can also go in and make everything one color. Let's say you've got something and you want to make it mono color. That's how you do that, because now it's all grayed out and it will just stitch in one color. That would not work for this design, but there are some that it will.
Wow. Let's see. Shelly asked, can you take an applique you download and use quilting stitches around it?
Yes. So you're going to bring that into the, however you send it over, wirelessly or USB or whatever. Let's see if I have anything in here that we can. I did it right there. I just want the actual flower, something that I brought in. I did it to that one too. All right, let's just say you brought this in. Okay, whatever. You brought this in and you want to quilt around it. So the design is in there. So all you have to do is go to add. Nope. First you have to, First you have to put an outline around it. Remember? Put an outline around it. I don't need to fill anything inside, and I can change the distance of how close that will stitch to it. I usually go about 120 just because I don't want it to stitch on my design. Anyway, it goes away, and then you put it in memory. Then you add in the design center to your flower. So go grab your flower or whatever applique you've brought in. It's under here. Grab that. And now you want to stitch, you want to do stitching around it. So remember, you need a parameter. What size do you want to stitch around it? So you do that with bringing in a box. This is good to redo this again. That's good enough shape. And I don't want it to stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my stitches. And I'm going to say, don't stitch. Okay. Fill bucket, touch, touch. It's no longer going to stitch. But now I get to fill around it with whatever I want. So it's a pretty flower. Let's just do this one. And I'm going to do, I don't know, pretty pink. And fill bucket and touch. Oh, I touched the wrong place.
That is
that's
amazing. Here's a question from Sandy Sterling. Can you take an applique design and make it a fill stitch and vice versa? Oh, that's what you just did. Yes.
Not a fill stitch. Fill stitch? A fill stitch would. I think this is what she's talking about. Yeah,
I think so too.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Yes, you can.
So we're just about an hour in. Does anybody have any more questions about the Luminaire? Because you wanted to do a project, right, Barb?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Stitch along project. Yes, we do.
Woohoo! So for those of you who want to stitch along, there's a PDF download in the description of this video, and you can rewatch it too. So no worries there. Let's see here. So looks like Barb came out for just a second. Let me. Oh, look. Karen says, really like the big screen. That is one of my favorite features of this machine, Karen. The huge screen that you can see my design center on. It is great. Elizabeth says I need more practice with my design center. So Elizabeth, do you have the XP1 or XP2 playbook. If you're going to be at Houston, they'll be 10% off. We also had a question from someone, do you ship these machines? Unfortunately, we don't ship them, but if you come to the Houston Quilt Festival and purchase it from us there, we can ship it free to your address. Only if you purchase it during the dates of Houston International Quilt Festival. We're going to have our best package and prices of the year. I'm wondering if y'all want a sneak peek on what that special is going to be. I might just be a little bad. Barbara Annette Douthit, that's my name, B-A-D, and show that to you. So let's see, I'm going to share my screen and just show you the sneak peek of the package that we're going to have for the Luminaire. So let me, let's see, hold on, I have to figure out how to see this full screen. Nope, that's not it. Just a moment. View. Let's see here. I have it. Ah, here it is. I found it. I found the package. And let's see. I'm going to share my screen. Nope, not video file. Excuse me. Ah, I need to put my glasses on, everybody. Isn't this so funny? So I'm going to share this screen with you. And I'm only going to put it up for a second because I don't want to get in trouble here. And let's see, where did it go? Hold on just a moment. Ah, I can't find it. This is so funny. Oh my goodness. Looks like I see Barb in the background, Barb, but it says device is not connected. Hold on just a moment. Ah, I do not know how to use a Apple computer. That's what the problem is. Let's see. Where did my file go? Shucks. Why can't I show it to you? This is so funny. Gotta love tech. Christy, yeah. If these, I am such a tease. Oh my goodness. All right. So if you, oh my goodness. Here we go. Let me, you know what? Let's see. Stop share screen, stop screen share, share screen, share screen. Oh, I need to go to window. And I need to go to something I can see with my glasses. Chrome tab. Okay, let me see if this, nope, that's not it. Stop. Excuse me. Darn it, everybody. I'm so sorry. Well, looks like Barb is having a little difficulty coming in. So let me get her on the phone. We're going to call Barb. Barb. Hi. All right, everybody. So go ahead and get your comments in because we're going to do the $100 AllBrands.com gift card giveaway soon. Looks like Barbara's having technical difficulties and not able to come in. So we're going to record that sew along and send that to you a little later. So I'm sorry about that. There are printed instructions in the description. And don't worry, if you're on our newsletter list, you will get the preview of the packages on Friday. So if you're not yet subscribed to our newsletter, please do that at www.allbrands.com. So without further ado, let's go ahead and pick a winner for the $100 allbrands.com e-gift card. And that is going to be Priscilla. It's so good to see you again, Priscilla Paris. Please email me at events@allbrands.com and I'll get that $100 allbrands.com e-gift card sent to you. And I appreciate everyone's encouragement and support, even though we had a little bit of technical difficulties with cameras and audio and all of that fun stuff. But yeah, I really thank you for joining the AllBrands show every week, and look out Friday email from allbrands.com. We're going to have a preview of our packages for Houston International Quilt Festival, and we're going to start the specials in the store, preview, pre-buy, I believe on the 22nd. So that's like a few days before festival starts. And I couldn't be happier. This is the best time of year, and I'm so excited to be getting out of my house and to see all of you with Angela and Barb and Jerry and Wendy Chow, who's the new Quilt Club ambassador from the Weekend Quilter, and Laura Starr, and to see everyone in all the beautiful, wonderful quilts. So please visit us in booth 942 in the Brother booth. We're allbrands.com, family owned and operated business since 1976. And thank you for being part of our sewing family and crafting with us every day. So I hope that all of you have a fantastic day, and we will see you soon, and love you so much. Bye.